turning your magnificent art into my mediocre sculptures. This week, I took something that was very different and I know it's going to be quite challenging. So today's illustration is from Wolig Wolfisk. I totally hope I'm saying your name right. And this drawing looks like a sea creature, and I can tell it's the sea because there's like swimming things and bubbles. And it's so gorgeous to look at. It really caught my attention and I felt like I really needed to do this. So the creature looks like a furry kitty eyeball head snake kind of thing. It really looks awesome. There's just something about monsters and drawing monsters and recreating monsters. It's just my cup of tea. So I'm like, yep, gotta do it. This week's shoutouts go to Megan, FreezePop88, and 5Everhan. You guys are just so talented and you really do make me laugh with your comments. If you want a shout out in my Friday videos, don't forget to hashtag Nerdification Squad in the comment section below within the first 45 minutes of a video's release, or hashtag Nerdecrafter on Instagram with any of your creations anytime. Alright, so unlike a lot of the other recreations that I've been making, I want to make this into a full sculpture. So it's not going to be tiny or a miniature. I actually want to make it as big as the image that you see here. So about a 3/4 palm size. Is that a unit of measurement? It is now. So there are things that I do want to slightly change just because I think it might add a little oomph to it. When it comes to the fur, I'm going to still keep it a kind of lavender-ish, but then when it comes to the actual body, I feel like I want to make it a light gold. And that's why I took this one here, because it does have a bit of a shimmer and it's underwater, right? So usually things underwater have this kind of sheen shimmer thing. I'm gonna glaze it later too. And it's kind of floating in the water, which would be either a challenge or impossible to make in a sculpture form, but I will do my best because I can probably put the wire in the feet. All right, enough talking, let's get doing. As with any sculpture, I need to prepare my armature and the wooden board, and I really wanted to give this piece a kind of beach theme. I was almost going to make it underwater, but I decided to go with something to make it look like it's a gigantic water creature that's just kind of leaping out of the water. So that's the pose I'm going for. For the marbled effect, I decided to go with blue, white, and translucent, and then I chose the side that I liked and then placed it on the board. That piece kind of looks weird at first, but trust me, once we put the resin at the end, it's going to look really cool. So as I mentioned, at first I wanted to make this kind of underwater. So I thought that the rock I was making was going to be kind of a reef. So I did give it a lot of texture, but in the end, you know, let's just pretend it's a mountain, okay? Alright, so I'm gonna save my progress and bake it for about 15 minutes. One of the biggest challenges when it comes to making clay creations is that a lot of time goes into smoothing pieces together to make sure that they look like one piece. So you can see that I do put two different pieces and I'm trying to make them look as though they've always belonged. Anytime you have to clean it, make sure that you use rubbing alcohol and a Q-tip to remove any kind of fingerprints or dust particles, or in my case, cat hair. I'm really happy that I went with the gold Perlex powders because the end result made it really look a little more magical. When it comes to the eyeball head, I really wish I had made it slightly smaller because I had completely forgotten that there's an outer layer which is around the eye, and that one also takes up some volume, so yeah, Jackie forgot. One of the fun things about working with Perlex powders is that they get all over your hands and you risk contaminating all your colored pieces. Fun fact, the head, mouth, and eye alone took me about 2 hours. Don't let editing fool you. Alright, so while I'm saving my progress, which means baking it in the oven for like the third or fourth time, I wanted to show you what I'm super excited about for this project. Because the creature has like these super magnificent eyelashes, I bought fake eyelashes! I've never bought fake eyelashes before. By the way, you know you're a crafter when you buy cosmetics for your creations. So I am super excited to put these on. I just have no idea how to do them. I probably should have bought glue. How do you glue these on? I'm gonna try to glue them on with glue. If they don't work, let me know what I should have done. We are the next morning. I look like poo, but that's not the problem. The problem right now is as I started to craft, take a look at this, micro cracks right here. What does that mean? Totally didn't pray to the baking gods. That will teach us. I'm gonna try and finish the fur first, and then afterwards I'm going to go ahead and try and patch it up maybe with some liquid Sculpey. Let's cross our fingers. Actually, we should probably pray to the baking gods right before we bake. One of the challenges of turning a drawing into a sculpture is that sometimes things translate well as a drawing, but then when you try to make it as a sculpture, they might look a little odd. Now, the fur in the drawing is actually pretty pointy, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be so cool. And as I was making the fur pointy out of clay, it started almost looking like spikes. So I really had to try and pay as much attention possible to try and make it look like fur. I'm not sure if I succeeded, but you know, after working so long on a sculpture, you hope you do. But you know, I'll let you guys be the judge at the end. It's looking really awesome so far, but we have to bake it one more time. I didn't want to make all of the little eyeball fish things, so I only made one companion. So now we have to put our hands together and pray to the baking gods. Dear baking gods of Evermore, please protect my piece from burns, cracks, and fallen limbs. And also,
stop breaking my stuff!
So I'm going to take extra precautions, put just a little bit of liquid Sculpey and foil paper a little bit of everywhere. And I'll show you guys and then bake it for 30 minutes. Fingers crossed. After it was baked, I used UV resin to make the marble of the blue stand out more like an ocean, added some sand, and then after making that little companion, I added the eyelash, and you know how I stuck it? Yup. I used UV resin because it was clear and it was easy to stick on and it was pretty quick. Oh my god! Don't let editing fool you. This took me 12 hours to put together. That's why we're the next day, because my brain couldn't compute doing more sculpting in the same day. Regardless how much time it took, I'm pretty pleased with it. There are quite a few things I wish I had done differently. First of all, the reason I did it kind of to scale, so this is kind of like a mountain and we have a little bit of a beach over here, just to show that it's a gigantic creature, that these little eyeball things could be the size of whales. Can you imagine that? That would be pretty cool. That's why I kind of wanted it to be at a different scale, so this is the environment. At first, I really wanted to make it underwater, and then I just kind of changed my mind. I don't know why. The next thing I would have liked to change is the purple in the eye. For some reason, it really dried much darker than I expected. I thought it would be a lighter plum, but dark purple and the black barely shows. Next, I would say, is the actual swerve of the drawing, which I love kind of the fluidity of it, but Mine just ended up having one swerve, just where the bum is, and then the tail. Well, no, it has a few swerves, but not the exact same pose that is in the drawing. The last part is the head. It's slightly bigger than what I would have wanted. I think those are the bigger things that bug me the most. For that whale eyeball thing, I think I'm gonna make a few more and put them at the bottom because it feels a little empty over here. So I'm probably going to make a few off camera and then just put them on. So if you want to see the final piece, make sure you follow me on Instagram because I will be putting the final picture right on there. Now it's time for you guys to vote. Do you think I got the essence of this drawing? Was I able to recreate it? Let me know. Vote in the cards section. If you want to watch another art to sculpture, make sure you click up here. And if you want to watch a salty crafter, click down here. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Until then, I will see you in the next video.